A couple days ago, a YouTuber, and more importantly, a dear friend of mine, experienced every content creator's worst nightmare: a private picture leaking. When I heard the news that Ludwig's nutsack had leaked onto Twitter, I panicked. I damn near did damage control for him and started formulating excuses like, no, no, no. It's just the angle the picture was taken that makes his nuts look small. It's an optical illusion. He had just taken a cold shower, so his balls shrunk a little bit. And you don't know that actually what this is. It's not even a scrotum. It's swamp gases being reflected off of a weather balloon. Like I was ready to go to bat for him, but I didn't need to. He didn't need excuses. His balls spoke for themselves. Now, it wasn't by his own choosing. This wasn't his plan. It wasn't like some kind of mogul male move here to get content out of it. He was on the Cold Ones podcast, and during the Patreon cut, he playfully pulled his sack out, and it's on full display. It's very bold, very proud. And Chad had asked if he wanted them censored in the Patreon cut, to which Ludwig replied, yeah. But Chad apparently misunderstood what he was saying here, so then told the editor not to bother censoring it. So then on the Patreon cut, his nuts were just fully there, to Ludwig and all of Twitter's surprise. I'm sure a lot of you are curious how his nuts ended up on camera in the first place. Like, was it a freak accident? Like they were just talking, then his balls flew out of his pants or something? Well, I'll explain quickly. On the Cold Ones podcast, there's a lot of alcohol consumption, and Ludwig was many shots deep, and he willingly brought out his sack and expected it to be censored, but it wasn't. It's just that simple. The whole episode's pretty wild. There's a point where Ludwig pukes, and Max then dips his food into the puke and says, thanks for the dip, and then eats it. Shit goes real hard. So, his nuts being out was probably like the least shocking thing from the episode, but unfortunately it wasn't censored, so it ended up getting onto Twitter. Now, this is what I really wanted to focus on here. Not even so much the testicle flesh parachute itself, more so how he's handled the situation. So Chad has profusely apologized for it. I'm sure he feels pretty terrible for it, but Ludwig has taken it like an absolute king. He's just addressing it fully, making a joke out of it, and he seems to just be in great spirits about it. And when you have balls that are that aesthetic, like they were almost made to be photographed, I could see why it probably wouldn't bother you that much. But it got me thinking about how I'd handle this kind of situation, because I feel like I have tiny nuts. If I whipped them out and dangled them in front of this camera right now, you'd have no idea that I'm dangling my testicles. You'd probably think that I'm holding two almonds up to the camera lens. So I got to thinking, would I be able to handle something like this as graciously as Ludwig? And my answer is maybe. I feel like it would really depend on the conditions of my dick pic or testicle leak. Whether like I'm in prime competing condition, like if I'm fully erect, half chub, or fully flaccid. Fully flaccid, I'd get extremely insecure, and I'd probably be like almost threatened. Like I'd feel challenged, like, oh, everyone thinks this is what my dick looks like at its peak. No, 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 no. So then I'd have to take another dick pic after I've got myself chubbed a bit. Such is the curse of being a grower instead of a shower. Fun statistical fact to make some of you feel better: 79% of all men are growers, not showers. Being a shower is like being a shiny Pokemon. It's a statistical anomaly. Now, of course, this is talking about the penis itself. What Ludwig had leak was his sack, and I still feel like my sack would need some flattering angles in order for me to feel like super comfortable with it being out there. But my cock in particular, I know I would need it to be at least semi-erect. As a grower, when I'm performing, it's about 6.5 inches, but flaccid, we're talking like 3.5-ish. That's not amazing. That's not super photogenic. That's not gonna be like a great picture. So it really just depends, but overall, I don't think I'd be able to have as much class with something like this as Ludwig does, but I do think over time, I'd become more numb to it. Like, it'd be extremely on brand if my scrotum leaked. Like, that's just one of those things like you're kind of expecting. I'm honestly shocked Ludwig's sack is out there before mine. I never take dick pics or anything. In fact, I don't like to be photographed naked. I'm like more elusive with naked photographs than Bigfoot. But even still, if something like this was to happen, I would have expected me to be first as opposed to Ludwig. But yeah, overall, I just don't think I'd be able to be as calm about this situation as Ludwig has been, and I think he's doing it the right way. Overall, I just find the way Ludwig's gone about this to be admirable. I was talking about it on stream the other day, so I'll go ahead and play a couple clips from there and then get back into talking about it a little bit deeper. Did you see Ludwig's massive balls? I did. I am shocked Ludwig did a ball reveal before pretty much anyone else. Yeah, Ludwig showed his whole sack on the Cold Ones Patreon cut, and it leaked to Twitter, so now his balls are all over Twitter. Got that whole scroty action out. Flopping in the wind now on Twitter. He's being a great sport about it, though. Handling it like a champ. He's also got a hairless sack, too, which is crazy. If my nuts leaked, you'd have no idea. You'd think it'd be like a piece of gum that fell into like a barbershop mess of hair on the ground. He probably shaves them. So do I, but I still have like so much hair on my sack. I don't know. It's hard to get all of it. My pubes are well kept, but my nutsack hair, it goes so wild for no reason. It's got a mind of its own. It's like fighting for freedom down there on my sack. It just will not stay groomed. He said he thinks they're small. What, his nuts? No, he's got good sized nuts. Strong nuts. A lot of good DNA in that sack. Thought you were joking, they look clean though? No, yeah, he's got like an actual bald sack. He's blessed. Bro uses Nair. That's a name I've not heard in many moons. I actually remember trying Nair. I used to be really embarrassed of my facial hair. So I tried Nair once because my mom saw it on TV and said like, you know, I know you don't like this, maybe try it. So we got Nair. It just fucking chemical burned my face. Yeah, I had no idea it wasn't supposed to be on your face, so I tried to get rid of my stash because my stash would always grow in ferociously. I just fucking burned the shit out of my face. Doesn't it also stink really bad? Yeah, because it's just like fucking incinerating your flesh. It's like cremating my upper lip. As I sit here and stew on it and let it marinate, I feel like maybe the reason why I'd be more embarrassed about it than Ludwig is simply for the fact that his balls are fit for a king and mine are fit for like a court jester. And I think it might be due to like the hairiness of it. So maybe I just need to groom it a bit better. Like I manscape like frequently, but for some reason the hair on my nutsack is always fighting for its life and just so resilient. So it'll keep growing back in weird angles and it gets all like squiggly and shit. So maybe that's more the reason why I feel like I wouldn't be able to navigate it as well as Lud. But I'm not positive. And I also don't want to test the theory and put myself in the hot water. I'm not exactly going to whip out my sack on camera right now. But can you imagine what a power move it would be if I did? But yeah, just overall I wanted to talk about the situation a little bit because I truly applaud the way Ludwig has handled this whole situation. I think he's done a great job with all of it. It doesn't seem like he's got super salty about it. He's not like DMCA striking anyone that talks about his nuts or anything like that. And it doesn't seem like he's harboring any ill will towards Chad or anyone on the Cold Ones team for the situation. So just want to talk about that a bit. That's it. So yeah.